Wanted to make a short video showing you how to delete a user in your Google Workspace, but ensure that any emails to that address get to the right place. So, for example, someone leaves the team, or if you have an ISA who's no longer with you, easy way to have anybody that replies to an email address that they may have been using to still get to the right place. Now, obviously, if you just want to delete them and it doesn't matter if the email bounces, people were maybe only working sphere leads and you're not worried about maybe an old lead replying to an email from a couple years ago, then just delete the user. But what I find a lot of times is people want to still be able to get responses that if that agent was reaching out to people or following up with people, that response would still stay with the team. So first, for both of these methods, I'm going to show you two ways to do this. For both of these methods, you're going to have to delete the user first, which feels a little bit scary, but because this is my real account, I'm not going to do that right here. But you would just go in here under users. You can just go to manage. I usually go to manage and then delete them from there. When you go to delete them, you can also suspend them. So if you aren't ready to delete yet, you can suspend. But ultimately, when you delete, it's going to ask you, who do you want to reassign some of this stuff to? Now, typically that is going to be calendar events and drive files that were created by that user. If they're just shared with them, they're not going to go anywhere. The files aren't going to go anywhere. So that doesn't matter. But there's a checkbox that if they created drive files, if you want to keep those, you just check the box. And then it asks you during the course of the deletion, which existing user do you want to put those things on? So it'll basically create a calendar tied to that person, that deleted user, as well as anything in Drive will be moved over with you as the owner. But once you do that, there's two things that you can do. One of which is what is considered an alias. And both of these methods, by the way, will not, you will not have to pay for them. So deleting the user will save you money on whatever level you're on. But what you're going to want to do, though, if you want to get the emails or somebody on your team wants to get them who is a user, if you just go to manage, I'll use me as the example. So if you just come in here, this is super, super easy. But again, you'll have to delete the user first. And you would just come here. This is literally different every time I see it. So if this yours is a little different, don't stress it. Click on user information. And then down here are alternate email addresses, also known as aliases. And you can just make this email. So let's just pretend that, it was, it was Bob at your company. You could just say, okay, I want Bob at my company now as an alias to come to me. So what'll happen now is if somebody replies to that Bob at Amplified Solutions that the agent reached out to, years ago, now that email is just going to come to you or whatever user you put the alias under. One quick pro tip, it is possible with this alias setup to reply as that user. Some people have like a client care or a hello ad or something like that they might want to be able to reply as. That's a slightly more complicated use, but something to think of. If you want to be able to reply as this email address, an alias is the way to go. So obviously you would want to hit save. I'm not going to do that. But you would want to hit save and that's it. Now email sent to that address will just come to your normal inbox. There's no special inbox. You will see if you mouse over the to in the email, it'll show you that it was sent to that address. Another tip I do sometimes is build a little filter that puts a label on it. So you're really clear that that email was sent to this email address and not you directly. The other thing to do is a little trickier. If you come down here to apps and then additional Google services, I'm going to be able to come into, actually, that's not right. I'm sorry, Google Workspace, Gmail, and then default routing. So default routing is unlike an alias. You cannot send from it. But what's cool about default routing is that you can send to both multiple people and you can send to people outside of your domain. So if somebody let's say somebody left your team and you wanted them to keep getting their emails, like they're going to pay you a referral on their own leads. Something you could do is come here, hit add a rule. And in this case, we would say Bob at, and then under add more recipients, now you're going to add their email address. So this could be bobsmith@gmail. You could do multiple. So if you wanted to copy, bobsmith@gmail, but get a copy sent to yourself, you could do that here. You can add multiple addresses to this setup. Once you do that, hit save, roll down here, hit save again. And then that email address will now go to whichever recipients you added here. As I mentioned, in this method, you cannot reply from that email address, but another good way to potentially send an email address you have deleted over to specific people, whether they are a user in your workspace or not.